Всім вітання! Ми продовжуємо наш цикл і нашу серію підтримуючих семінарів для українських жінок, які зазнають кардинальних змін через війну Росії проти України. І сьогодні у нас буде лекція від Ірини Нікіфірук. Це експертка з Румунії. Її лекція проходитиме англійською мовою. Пізніше буде запис, і якщо все вдасться найкращим чином, колись я знайду можливість, то ми протитруємо обов'язково, дамо переклад цього відео, тому слухаємо, ставимо запитання. Ось, я нагадую, що серія цих семінарів і лекцій відбувається за підтримки Гете-інституту. І рада вас всіх бачити. Моя думка була така, що усі ми, жінки, зараз перебуваємо у різних контекстах, усім нам непросто, але коли ми зачиняємося за дверима, нам здається, що це кінець світу, що тільки ми одні проживаємо всі ці біди і негаразди, але коли ми відчиняємо двері, виходимо в світ і бачимо подібних таких самих жінок і слухаємо їхні історії, ми розуміємо, що таким чином нам є поруч на кого спертися. Саме з такою ціллю ми і організували серію цих заходів, онлайн-заходів від різних жінок-експерток, аби створити сприятливе, приємне жіноче коло, де можна ділитися спільними досвідами і де можна знаходити для себе щось, на що можна спертися. I would like to welcome Irina. She comes from Romania, Iași, and I had a great honor to meet her back in May and June 2022 when I was a participant of the writers' residence in Iași. We had a connection, and I know right away why we had it, because Irina is helping women, mothers, to balance their lives, to do good both in their careers and with their kids. Because I know that a lot of Ukrainian women, both those who bring up their children alone and those who had a husband to support them, they suddenly were brought into a totally new reality when there's just you and your child or children, and where you are the only one as a grown-up to take care of not only yourself but your children. So I hope that whatever Irina shares today will in some way help you gain that balance that we all need, and will help you feel at ease with yourself and with the kids that are next to you. Irina, welcome, and thank you so much for supporting us today.
Thank you for having me, and it's an honor to be here and to share my story. And I don't know if wisdom is what you're looking for, but at least experience I have a lot. I don't know what you said in Ukrainian, because I don't understand, but I am a mother of three, and so I have a lot of experience with children, my own, and with the parents I work with. So I hope whatever we talk today inspires other women to do the best that they can.
Great, thank you so much. And I would really like you to just share your story. Tell me how you came to this happy parenting, how you came up with the idea of learning the parenting philosophy and the whole thing.
Yeah, so as I said, I have 3 children, but when my second came, she was so difficult and challenging, and I had no idea what I was doing, because I always wanted to be a mom, and I always thought I would be a very good mom, because you know, I helped my mom raise my younger sisters. I raised a lot of nephews and nieces that I had, because I'm the oldest in the family. So I thought, well, I'm good with kids, and when I will have my own, I'll be like the best mom ever, you know. And with my daughter, I was failing. I have a son, he's 14 now, and 2 daughters, they are 11 and 9. So with my son was easy, but with my daughter was really, really challenging, and I was really, really failing. She wouldn't sleep. She wouldn't eat. She was crying all the time, and I was so exhausting, and I was so crazy, and I was like, I was hating her, and I was hating me, and I did not know what to do, you know. So that time, this is I think 2013 or something like that. I started to go to these parenting classes, like a support group for parents. And I learned that there are different approaches to parenting, different from those I knew from, you know, my mom and my grandma, and from some of the TV shows I've been watching. And I discovered that this approach, it's called hand-in-hand parenting. That's really natural, and it's like you didn't need to learn a lot, but it came natural to you to connect. Basically, what you do is use connection, which is absolutely natural for human beings because our brains are social and they need other brains to connect so they can um, uh, regulate themselves, you know. So what you needed to do was to listen, to be present, to I don't know, make let your child know that she is seen, she is loved, she is safe. And this is all my kids actually needed, because everything else they already knew how to do, you know. We are born with the knowledge of good and bad, right and wrong. We don't need someone to tell us, you know, this is right or this is wrong. We do know.
We choose to do wrong because of the all the trauma and all the layers of, I don't know, bad things that happen to us, you know. So by connecting with my kids, by listening to them, by playing with them in a certain way, I actually helped them like take away those layers and be this better version of themselves, you know. But what came really difficult for me was to be to think of myself as being good, you know, because I said, okay, my kids are good, you know, they haven't done anything wrong yet in their lifetime, but I'm not that good. And how can I access the goodness in me, the calm, the loving? That was difficult for me. So this approach, this hand-in-hand approach, not only gave me instruments to work with my children, but they also gave me a tool to work with myself. And this is the listening partnership, which basically it's an agreement between two adults to listen to each other, you know, without judging, without giving advice, without expectations or pressure, just offering this safe space that says, you know, you're seen, you're loved, you're good, I trust you. And all this you can say without even talking, right? And actually that is the connection between people. We use words because we are taught to use words, but actually the communication between two people is 70% not words. You know, it's the smile, it's the sparkle in your eyes, it's the tone of your voice, it's the way your body leans towards the other one or not, you know. And all this body language tells the other person all of this: you're loved, you're safe, you're safe, you are being trusted, and you belong here. It takes a lot of work, you know, it takes a lot of work to get there. But once you get there to this
And actually what you do, because this listening partnership, like it's not like therapy, you know. When you go to therapy, it's a one-way communication. So the therapist listens, you tell your stories, you know, you work on your things. It's very good for you. But what the listening partnerships gives you more than therapy is the power of you listening to the other person too, of you of you making a difference in their life too, you know. And this is empowering. Not only you get the listening, not only you get the help, but you also get to help someone else. And that's really important, and that's really empowering, because it restores you, you know, the confidence uh, in your power, actually. Because when we have problems with our children, when we don't know what to do, what we do actually is feel powerless, you know. When your kid has a fever, for example, and you know, you give them pills, and maybe you tuck them in or give them a bath, or I don't know, whatever you do, but they still have the fever, or they still cough, or they're still ill, or their tummy hurts. What's the first thing that you feel? It's like you're powerless. What can I do, you know? When you talk to your child nicely again and again, and they still disobey you or misbehave, okay, and then you start shouting, or you go to the next level and you hit them, or whatever happens, you know, because you need some behavior to stop, that makes you feel really bad about yourself, and it takes away your power as a parent. So what we need as parents to be there for our children is to gain back that power. And you can get that power back by listening to each other, by being there for each other. And especially women benefit a lot from being together, from the togetherness, from the community, you know. Because this is where we get our power, actually, our strength. It's from the community, from being with other women. Hey. Yeah.
Someone was waving their hand, yes.
Yeah, I saw her. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry. It's good. Maybe she wants to listen. That's okay if she does. So another thing
talking,
that
go ahead. You were talking about this togetherness that that comes when women come together, and that was
this is I don't know, but I think our culture are quite similar about this. In my country, for example, in the old days, our grandmothers would come together and I don't know, stitch or do handwork, you know, and sing and talk. You know, during the winter, look, wow, that's an amazing blouse. Wow. And it's really similar to what we have. Amazing.
It's my psychological test, my motivation for adaptation in this situation.
Yeah. Look what beautiful things come out of bad stuff and situations, you know. And the women also always dealt with war and with poverty and with I don't know, calamities or whatever, together, you know. They worked together, they talked together, they sang together, and this connects them on a higher level. And this you know, you don't feel alone. You feel like you belong, and you feel like you're accepted, and you are trusted, because they give you work to do, so you are trusted, And everything, this is the basic needs of every human being, right? And if you get that, if you get the basic needs met, then nothing can stand in your way, you know? And this is why there are reports of women lifting cars from over their babies, I don't know, in an accident, you know, of mothers like doing everything that they can for their children, you know, because nothing can stand in the way of a woman that has a purpose and has a support. Yeah, you can do it without the support, but it's really hard. If you have the support, if you have a community around you, it's because that makes you more powerful. And I remember I read a study a few years back about the children from the World War II in UK, and they decided that the children from the cities would be sent to the countryside away from the war, okay, so they can be protected. But the study showed that the children that stayed with their parents, even though they were in the middle of the battle, you know, they were they had less trauma than those that were sent away. And this is because the connection between the parent and the child is so strong and it's so helpful that even protects you from this kind of you know, situations that can be traumatizing. So being close to your kids, listening to them, yeah, actually release them from stress. You know, I'm here, I'll protect you as best as I can. You're safe now. Yeah, okay. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know, and you can say that. You can be true to your kids because they are connected to you very deeply. And they know, even if you say, oh, we're okay, but you're actually trembling inside, they get confused. What I'm feeling and what I'm hearing is different. Can I trust you if you bring me confusion? No, I cannot. So say, I'm afraid. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm here and I'm doing my best. You know, I'll hold your hand. I'll hold you in my arms as long as I can. And I'll do anything to protect you and to protect myself, because you know what? Our kids, actually the most important thing to them is to see us happy, you know, not themselves, to see us happy and safe. So by reassuring them that I'm doing everything I can to be safe also, not just protect you, makes you a trustworthy person for them. Oh my God. It's really difficult, you know, to get rid of the old patterns that we have. But we can by having these conversations, to listening to each other, by going to seminars like this or reading a book. There are so many books nowadays that can be read, you know, and it's important to ask the questions and to listen very well.
Yeah, Irina, I admire every single word of what you say. Actually, what you say has just brought tears into my eyes, because this is so important to get connected. And we get connected on so many different levels, through words, through nonverbal gestures, facial expressions. And you know the thought that struck me right now? How is that possible somehow to benefit from this connection to our women, like grandmothers, great grandmothers, you know, because they have totally different understanding of what mothering is about. Because, for instance, my grandmother, she suffered a lot, and she knows that the kid has to be clean, fed, educated. Like no hugs, no like gibberish, like you know, sweet talking or anything like this. Whereas if we take a look at the nowadays generation, we understand how much this, you know, this thin connection, connecting through words, connecting through embraces, body language, how much it means. So how do you think, where's the golden middle? How to talk to our mothers, great grandmothers, and etc. to, well, so that they don't think that we're bad mothers, you know?
Yeah.
Because we're so judged on all different levels. We're all struggling to be the best mothers we could, but we sometimes feel like, you know, not the best.
Yep. And you like went straight to the point, you know. The thing is that we need to find a way to stop judging each other. And we can start with our mothers and our grandmothers, you know, because whatever they did the best that they could with the resources they had at the time, with the knowledge they had at the time, right? And also give them the benefit of the doubt, because whatever they did out of love. They did not for any second thought, well, I'll make a kid and I will never hug him and I will never kiss him and I'll only wash him and give him some food, you know? None of that happened.
Yeah.
They wanted to do the best, and at that time the best was to keep them clean, keep them fed, make a life for them, you know, get them out of the poverty maybe, or the village, and give them good education so they can achieve something in life. That was the goal back then, and it is the goal now. You know, we do want our kids to be clean, fed, and educated, right? But we also understand that there are other things that need to be done. And you know what? I don't think any of our mothers or grandmothers didn't want to hug their kids or didn't want to keep them close. But you know what? Maybe in those days, having your kid close to you meant you put it in jeopardy, you know, you put it in danger. So if you teach your child to stay away from you, maybe you keep him safe. And I think you understand that now, you know, how many people from your country decided, I need to take my kid away from his dad, for example, right? Or from his town or from his house. Take him across the world maybe, just to keep him safe.
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
Yeah. And safety, you know, maybe you've heard about Gabor Mate. He's a very known specialist in this psychology and parenting field, and he says very well that we have two very vital needs. We have the need to for safety, and we have the need to for authenticity, to be ourselves, you know. We are born with these needs, okay? But when we are young and we don't have the power and the skills to be independent, we give up the power to be authentic in favor of safety, right? Of connection. And that chips away a little bit of our self, you know? And we grow up, and as we grow up, the need to be authentic is more powerful. And we see our kids, you know, wanting certain things or doing things a certain way, or we call it, oh, they have personality. They have a big personality, you know. But actually, it's what they decided at some point, that they are safe now and they can be themselves, you know. And this is what happens with everyone. For some, it takes a little longer, you know. Some of us need to get to 40 to say, well, now it's time for me to be myself. For some others, yeah, they get there earlier. But the need for safety and the need for authenticity is always there in ourselves. And this makes us whole. And whenever we have to let go of one of them, that I don't know, takes away a part of us that we need to work on and find on the way. Yeah, it's really, I think it's more about the expectations that we have for ourselves and for our kids, you know. And as parents, we get to sometimes we take away our authenticity for the safety of the family, right? So maybe if I like to travel, I won't travel because I have young kids and I need to stay here more. But that makes me really unhappy, right? But what does the media say? Oh, women need to be at home and stay with their kids. Oh no, that's not good. No, women need to work and have a career. Oh yes, and also women should have a career and have kids and be a good mom and be a good wife and be all of these expectations, you know. And what we as women do is put those same amount of expectations on our kids. Okay, so I have my kids and they should be good and they should eat everything from their plate and they should say thank you and hello and nice to meet you and wear the proper clothes and never break them and right. Someone is laughing. Yes. We have this amount of expectations, and this amount of expectations from ourselves and from our kids. And in the end, what are we doing? It's actually putting a lot of pressure on ourselves and on our kids and making everyone unhappy. I remember this time, I really like cleanliness and order. So, and someone came to my house and saw me doing the dishes, and there was splashes of water everywhere, you know. And he was like looking like this. Oh my God, there are splashes of water, but you don't like that. And I see your sink is always very clean, and I'm like, yes. The expectation is that at the end, you know, when I finish, my sink is going to be clean, but it's not going to be clean while I do the dishes. Okay. So while our kids grow up, don't have these big expectations of them being always like they already know everything and they need to apply it, right? But you have the tools. So I have this cloth. I wipe my sink after I do the dishes, right? And it looks very nice and clean after that. You also have tools to to face the challenges your kids bring. right? You have play, you have listening, you have connection, you have a lot of tools. So use the tools and lessen the expectations.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask you, because I know that I've heard some of the ideas that if the kid is really, really small, like it's just a baby and a toddler who can barely walk and just learning to talk, some of the grown people think that it's impossible to talk to that, like it's just a baby, doesn't understand you. So my point is, the connection that you've been talking about, does it refer to connecting to a baby even while it's still in your belly? Like, where do we begin the connection and the talking and the whole thing?
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of studies nowadays that show that talking to children doesn't it's not attached to their age. Okay, you can talk to children anytime you want. It's actually how they learn to talk, right? From you talking to them. You know, and this is why actually suggested to not to talk to them as if they are already grown-ups, right? Use the words. You can be nice without damaging the words that you use, you know. And it's from the tone of your voice that they see that you're nice, not from the words that you actually say. Maybe they don't understand exactly the word, but they understand the connection. They remember what you say, and this is how they learn how to talk, right? And talking to your children actually empowers you too, because you get the knowledge to them, and it allows you to do more things, you know. For example, if you teach your children how to talk, how to dress themselves, how to wash themselves, you know, it's one thing less that you have to do, right? If they can do it themselves. And there's actually this educational system called Montessori. I don't know if you heard about it, but Maria Montessori actually said, never do something for your kid that he knows how to do for himself, you know, because this is how you empower them and you empower yourself. They know how to do a thing, they will be proud, they will be independent, and also you get time for yourself, right? And the job well done, because if he can do something for himself, it means that you have done your work, you have done your job well, and this is good for you too.
You know, I've been watching a movie there, a very difficult one. It's a TV series, but there was an interesting moment where the lady, the psychologist, she said that kids can bear and can live through pretty much very heavy experiences, and they are fine coping with that, as long, she said, as you are telling them the truth. No
Yep.
matter how painful the truth is, but as long as you are telling them how the things really are. And that actually, that was something that you've been talking about today.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that Ukrainian women, all of us, those who stay in Ukraine and those who had to flee the country because of the danger, we're all facing the need of talking to our kids about uncomfortable, very difficult things. And I'm just, maybe you share a little bit of experience on that, because that's not easy. That has never been easy.
It's not, and it's actually difficult to talk to a grown-up about it sometimes, you know. But about the truth, you know, it's very easy to step in this trap of telling too much or too little. You have to find the balance, something that you feel comfortable saying and it has to be the truth, but it doesn't need to be the most heavy truth of all, you know. And the way to talk, one way to talk to children about difficult stuff is by playing. This is a language that they understand, you know. Role playing, or even reenacting stuff, for example. This is a way to tell them things without like scaring them too much. Okay, so there was this really big earthquake in the US in the 80s, and there was like really very much like destruction around them, and they found that children that replayed, like kind of in play, they played the earthquake, the things that happened with them, they had less trauma than those who didn't play about it, you know. And it's kind of difficult for us, for grown-ups, to understand then how can you play war, for example. How can you play war when outside there's a war, there's an actual war that makes victims and destruction and everything? How can you play about it, you know? And does this make you a bad person that you play like about shooting people or bombs on, I don't know. But for children to play about the war, about the things that the bad things that they see or hear, it's very helpful. But because they try to understand everything, and they don't, because their brains are not as developed as ours. Okay, they don't understand everything, but they are trying. So one way of dealing with this is by playing, and you can enter their play when you see them playing. And even if it's not about war, or it's not about something difficult, but if you try to play with them about something, try not to try to watch them and follow their lead. Okay, wherever they go, you go. If they want to make fun of stuff, make it funnier and be there for that. If they want to I don't know, break something or some, as long as it's safe, you know, they don't harm themselves or someone else, allow them to break stuff. Because this is how they deal with the situation outside themselves, and they try to understand it inside themselves. So talking to them as if they are grown-ups, but keeping in mind that they are not totally developed, and our objective is not to scare them, but to keep them in the loop, as they say, you know, keep them informed about the things that happen. It's one thing. Another thing is to play about the stuff that's happening. And the third thing is to answer their questions. Don't think that they are too small or they don't understand. If they ask you something, answer their question as best as you can, as truthful as you can, without giving too much information. Yeah, and try to not don't give too much detail. Pay attention at the question. What do they ask? You know, and respond exactly to that, not to whatever you think they want to know. Okay, I'll give you an example of a difficult question. You know, it's not about the war, but it's a difficult question that some parents face and don't know how to answer. You know, and our kids, for example, a kid can ask, "Mom, how are kids made?" You know, where do the children come from? And we get like, oh my God, how do I answer this question?
Where do I begin the story?
Where do I begin the story? Yeah. Well, the story begins for you at least. Think about how old is your kid when he asks that. If he's 4, you have a certain answer. If he's 10, you have a different answer. If he's 14, maybe, well, when he's 14, he already knows, but hopefully, you know, and not from TV or from you. But if he's 4, maybe you can ask first, but where do you think they come from? So you can get the answer that they are looking for. And if they say, well, I heard my friend say that they are brought by the storks. I don't know, here in Romania is the thing, the storks brings kids, which is like weird. Okay, and you can ask another question. What do you think about that? You know? And see if they like I mean, that if they believe that story or not. And if they don't, you can say, well, children come from their parents.
Exactly.
And sometimes this is enough. You know, they don't need to know more. But in a while, they'll come back to you and say, what do you mean they come from their parents? You know? But maybe by this time they are 5 and they know a little more about anatomy. Okay? And you get them the answer, well, I don't know, they are born from your mom. Okay? You were born from your mom. Okay, good. That's enough sometimes, you know, but we tend to do the long version of the story. Well, let me tell you how your mom and dad love each other. Sometimes, you know, it's okay to say things like to create a story around this, you know, about love and I don't know. But sometimes the kids just need to know kind of the basic points, like the essential of the stuff. They don't need a big thing. And maybe just use anatomy and like, or a book. Look, let's look at this book where there's a man and a woman and they look like this and they make a child. I don't know. And another difficult situation, and this I'm in question, and this unfortunately we had to deal with during COVID and now during the war, is what happens when people die, you know? And the most useful thing is to tell them the truth. But okay, if you're religious, for example, maybe you say, oh, their soul went to God, or I don't know. If you're not, you don't believe in God, maybe you say, you just have an opinion or something. But that's just an opinion. What happens when people die? Do you know? Their heart stops. They stop breathing. Okay? And they cannot do anything that they used to do. That's it. That happens when people die. Okay? And this is more comforting to them to know what's happening physically than to tell them, I don't know, they were shot, or they died because they were very ill, and I don't know. That can also be told to the kids, but it depends on their age, on the how much they know the person that died, okay, what their connection is to that person, and always, always, always answer the question that they ask. Okay? Why did they get grandpa to the cemetery? Well, this is the custom in our culture. Okay? But why did they put dirt on him? Well, is he going to be okay? I mean, doesn't that hurt? No, it no longer hurts because he's not feeling anything else, you know. And things like this you can answer, but be careful of what they ask, and don't elaborate. Don't give them, I don't know, the story that you think that they want to hear. Too much details can be a burden to them. And remember, they always think about things. They always want to understand, and they will try to understand this situation. But as long as they trust you to tell them the truth, as long as they trust you to be there for them, you know, and say, yeah, grandpa is dead and you're sad and I'm sad too, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to even be furious about it sometimes, you know, because death can bring us rage and anger sometimes. It's okay to do that. It's okay. And I'm here. And we can cry together, or I can sit with you. And this will pass with time. You know? Yeah. It's, yeah.
Thank you. So, yeah, it's like a breathe in, breathe out. Not so easy.
Yeah.
Thank you so
It's
much.
good to remember that we can breathe in and breathe out.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, sometimes we need to remember that, because
yeah, sometimes that's all we have to do.
I feel like with all this happening in the world, like with COVID and in this war and other wars that are happening out there, because it's not the only one, unfortunately, you know, most of the times we feel like we're like,
yeah.
And we cannot breathe out, or just let a little bit of, and then again, and we're in this constant tension that is not helping us, and it's not helping our children, you know. Sometimes we just need to breathe and celebrate that we are alive, and play and laugh when there is, you know, it's so another thing that we do is in very sad situations is we don't allow ourselves to laugh, because we feel like we're betraying everyone else that is having worse than us, right? But we are not doing any good to them, and we are not doing any good to us if we stop living, if we stop enjoying every moment that we can enjoy, actually, right? And it's me and you and the other and the one next to us that it's going to rebuild. It's going to do, like, change the things. And for that, we have to take care of ourselves first.
Yeah.
Breathe in, breathe out. Take the time for yourself, and so you can support your child, you can support your friend, you can support your parents, I don't know, but you have to take care of yourself first. If your cup is empty, you cannot pour anything to the other person. So fill up your cup from time to time.
Thank you so much for your words, Irina. You've been it's been a very empowering talk, and everything you told us resonated deeply. It's extremely useful. What you said, not judging other women, and let's begin with your grandmothers and your mothers, with the way to connect to a child through verbal and non-verbal. I am amazed by the way you share this experience, because this is experience. This is not just, theory you read from the books. I know that this is your experience, and this is what makes it a lot more valuable. Thank you so much for taking your time. Ladies, maybe you have some questions. So if you do, you're welcome. Or maybe you would just like to share anything. Feel free. Feel free to do that as well. Yeah, I would like to put a huge, ginormous heart and thank everyone who's been here today with us. And thank you, Irina, for taking your time, because it's Saturday, and I know that Saturday is the day off where you usually spend with your kids. Yeah, let's remind ourselves to breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, there's a comment from the lady. Her name is Oksana. She says that she can't answer anything because her child is yelling next to her, but she's breathing. She keeps breathing.
Oh, thank God, thank God. Breathe in, breathe out.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for taking this time and actually thinking so deeply about you and the other women here present, and the women that will listen to us for with the recording, for taking this time to think about yourselves and to I don't know, think so deeply about your children, because I'm sure that most of you came because you wanted to be a better person for your child. It starts with that, and we can thank them, our children, for giving us the impulse to do this. And I want to acknowledge how courageous and how brave you are for doing everything that you can under the circumstances, and to encourage you to reach out to each other and to I don't know, strengthen the community of women, because I think that the whole society actually relies on ourselves, on us women, being there for the, I don't know, the future, for everyone else.
Thank you. Maybe you could, because I know that you're working with women, and you spend a lot of time with mothers, and you organize special events, which I envy. And I dream of visiting once.
You are welcome anytime.
Yeah, maybe you could tell more about how to get women organized, because I know there are many women who would love to have this, to have this space just to come and be there, laugh and share a story. Tell me how you did that, how you began actually uniting women into a small community.
For me, and I think for everyone else, it starts with your own needs. When I became a mother, and I was kind of the first of my friends to have kids, I found myself alone. Everyone else were doing other things, and when you have kids, you are not able to do the same things as the ones that don't have kids. So I found myself alone. Or when I found another mother, maybe in the park, that I could talk to, I felt so good. But we always talked just about children, which was kind of annoying, because I'm a smart person. I know a lot of things about other stuff. I don't want to talk all diapers and milk and, I don't know, feeding schedules or kindergarten or something like that. A community around me, maybe to discuss other things. And it starts with you, it starts with yourself. And I don't know, maybe the first time only 2 people would show up. And it actually takes some women, it takes a long while to kind of trust that community, because, you know, we feel like we are judging each other very much and very easily, actually, for anything. You know, you're too fat, too slim, too dark, too blonde, too, I don't know, whatever. And it's difficult to say, to go to a meeting with women and be yourself. But what I did was create this space where you can be yourself. But I started with myself. I had to work on myself to be myself, because I could not be myself for a long time. And as I was talking earlier about authenticity, you have to find your authenticity, your own self, as best as you can, and then grow with the community. So if you want to do something, do it yourself, you know. Have some friends over, talk about stuff. Don't judge, don't give advice. They are smart women, they know what to do. They just need a little bit of time to relax, get some, I don't know, some feelings away from them, and then they'll find the solutions for their family, because no family is alike, you know. They are different. Things look different in every family. So just do it. You know, just start the community. Just bring your friends and talk about something, or have the time to just don't even have an agenda. Just say, let's meet for tea. Let's, for 2 hours, let's meet for tea and do nothing.
And it usually is enough for a good start.
It's a good start. And then, you know, your friend or your sister has a friend that you don't know, or maybe you know but very little, you know, and say, you know, I had so much fun just drinking tea and not doing anything. Do you want to come with me next time? You know, and this is how the community grows. And I think a lot of women realize the power of the community, and they understand that actually what our grandmothers used to do, like, you know, it's a good thing. And so just that. I don't know what else, but I see how you know, women from the events I organize then start doing business with each other, or become friends, or find that, oh, they have something in common, or they have someone in common, and realize, oh, it's a small world, actually, you know. And the thing is that you feel less alone, and when you feel less alone, you feel more powerful. And that allows you to be more yourself. And being yourself is actually the best you can do, and it's what the world needs, you know. There was this saying, my son showed me yesterday, you know, be yourself, everyone else is taken. You know. I mean, what we need is yourself, not a version like a makeup version of yourself. Just be yourself, and you're the best contribution to the world.
Thank you so much for your time, for your speech, for your experience, Irina. It's been great. I am sure that you sounded so motivating. I don't know, I feel so much energy now, and it's been very positive. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the good work you're doing. And ladies, you are lucky to have Slava over there, and stay in touch with her, because she's doing great things.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.